My guest for today, who is a life coach. Child, I went out. Let me tell you something. I didn't even go out. The Lord sent me a life coach in my life, okay, that I met just at a party. Didn't know I was going to be doing these shows. Didn't know I was going to need his advice, his expertise. But guess what? We had already met. And then I was afraid. I was like, I don't know if he would do my show, but I would just ask, because, you don't be knowing people. But then I asked, and he was like, Bet, I got you. I will definitely. So I am just so happy to have these two guests because as the Lord would align it, my other guest is a former trial lawyer who gives out what she calls judicious advice, advice from the tribe of Judah, which we are from. So I am so happy to have these guests. I'm going to bring them one at a time, starting with life coach. And of course, I got to say this once every show. Okay, y'all know how it go down. Dogs, shut up. Guys, I have these African-American dogs over here, okay? And guys, they got to be a part of the show, okay? I've been submitting them for auditions, but they try to get in where they can. So let me bring in my first guest, who is an author. Books called Beast Mode, Be Your Beast Mode. Another book called Having Amazing Relationships. He is a podcast. He is a superior person. Let me bring him up for a minute. My first guest up for a minute. Shawn Antonio is in the building. Shawn, how are you?
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. I live in the middle of Hollywood, so a fire truck just flew by. This is great.
And listen, we got the same background noise because we live on the same block.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So, first of all, hi, everyone out there. I'm Shawn Antonio. Great to be on the show today.
Yes, I'm so happy. So, I was looking at your book, and I want to jump right in. When you say having amazing relationships, because this is what I wanted to talk about. One is restoring the love between Black men and women that we've seen that we are in need of. But anyway, but what's one nugget you could drop from your book, Having Amazing Relationships?
Sure. I can totally do. Yeah, it's easy. So first of all, thank you for quoting both my books. The first one is called Be the Beast You Are, and Be the Beast You Are is about unleashing your true beast to the world. It's about really stepping into your true self, finding if you want to have like a spirit animal and find your spirit animal and be that person. But it's about unleashing all the things before trauma happened. So before 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, when stuff happened at us, right? Happened to us, and we subscribe to the identity or survival mode or defense mechanisms or walls went up. My Be the Beast book actually opens up that portal for you. All of them are millennial-sized books. What I mean is it's an hour read each book. So the first book I wrote was in July. I released it July 20th of 2017, Be the Beast You Are. And it really opened up so much for so many people. It went around the world, and I got so much great feedback about it. So I wrote it in a series called the Finding Your Fire series. Now, when people hear something like that, right, Finding Your Fire, there's so many interpretations, right? So that book gave people finding themselves. So when you find your beast, you can live in that, right, all the time and be the most epic version of Dell, of Stacy, of me, of whoever, right? Of Will, who we met through, right? And live in that. Know when to turn it on, turn it off. So that's part one. Part two of the book series, I'm writing 13 of them, which I've still yet to finish 3, 4, 5. I got them written down, but I haven't published them yet. And having amazing relationships, I realized, so I've been a life coach since 2017. I started coaching, learning in 2003. So for 8 years, I got trained by some of the top coaches in Los Angeles and the world. I didn't want to be a life coach. I didn't want to be responsible for people's mental health and things like that. But I just organically fell into it because I love people. I'm so in love with everyone, no matter what culture, race, creed, whatever it is, right? So I just fell in love with that. So here I come with having amazing relationships because I noticed that people had a fray, like a string in your sweater, in their relationships. They noticed that people weren't taking responsibility for how they're showing up in their relationships. So what I did, again, I'm taking responsibility for how you show up in your relationships. Like you said earlier today when we talked to Gwendolyn, right? Gwen? And you're in a mood and you had that moment and you kind of went, rah, verbal. I call it verbal vomit. When we vomit on the people we love the most, or people that are there for us. So in having these relationships, I take each category of who we're close with. So the nugget I'll give you is in each relationship, we define and train people how to treat us. So you're a reflection. This is one of the tools I give in this book. We are but a mirror of how people treat us. If we're bad people, we treat people poorly, it's going to come back. If we're going to be in a bad mood, it's probably going to impact. We are energy. We are impact. So you're always responsible for how everybody reacts to you. That's something you got to take on. So, and then here's a little short story. I went to Egypt in 2011. Holy wow. Egypt like revitalized me, changed my whole human, opened up some new stuff for me. It was my awakening. So I went to Egypt, 2 weeks sabbatical with my now wife, Alicia, mixed race. When I say mixed race, I'm Spanish and Dutch, and my wife is Australian. She's white Australian. So imagine our kids, you've met our kids, Del, they're mixed race, right? So for me in Egypt, it was such a cool experience because there's people from all over the world because Egypt is at the top of Africa. So I met Egyptians who speak 8 languages. They speak Portuguese and Spanish and Chinese and Japanese, and it was all inclusion. I was like, wow. So I told friends of mine, went to Egypt, changed my life, came back, and I met one of my fellow amazing Black women that I love. I adore her. Right? She said, Shawn, I went to Egypt and it sucked. I said, how?
Wow.
And I said to you, how'd you show up? And she goes, well, I just went through a breakup and my world wasn't working. I'm like, right there.
Yes.
Right there. So you went through a breakup. So there's that energy. Number 2, you also were not possibly skilled in what Egypt had to offer. So you came with an energy that wasn't working. You weren't happy in your existence in life. You brought that with you on the plane. You checked it in the bag. So we got to be responsible for the baggage carousel of life. That's what I call it. Everyone has a baggage carousel of life. When I met you, Del, did I walk up and say, hey, Del, I became a life coach to heal my own trauma? No. I didn't say that. I said, hey, I'm an international life coach, coach people all over the world. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm an author, but I'm just Shawn. Let's hang out. Let's get to know each other. That's how our friendship started, right? So it was never about, it's about the energy you give. And I think that's where we mess up. So you were talking about Black men, Black women, all that stuff. Man, I think what we walk around with is our baggage carousel. And when I say think, I know. Because I study brain science. I teach people about it. Go ahead, say that.
Okay, let me get Stacy up here too, because we want to get the conversation going. Please. Thank you so much for being here. This is Shawn Antonio. You're going to be with him all show. And of course, I got my sister from another miss in the building who always comes and gives us the Judaic advice, former trial lawyer. Midlife Crisis series coming to YouTube soon on her channel, Stacy_Stacy. Oh, Stacy 2